Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you about not playing the victim, not allowing the problems and the frustrations of life to get the better of you. Look, I know about frustrations in life. I know about problems. I know about playing the victim because I've been there and I have done all of that. And it would be so easy for me or for you to just lay down and say, you know what, life isn't fair. I'm a victim. It isn't fair. People are taking advantage of me. Circumstances are beyond my control and it isn't fair. And I get it. Believe me, a few years ago, that was me. I cannot tell you how many times in the course of my life I have cried myself to sleep over situations and problems that I had absolutely no control over. But the one thing I know, and the one thing that has changed about me, is that I understand that playing the victim and crying and throwing my little tantrum does absolutely nothing to improve my life. Nothing. It might temporarily make me feel better, but actually it didn't even make me feel better. It just allowed me to wallow in my self-pity. And I think the thing that made me feel better was that I felt like if it wasn't my fault, if I wasn't the one controlling it, if I was just crying because it wasn't me that was causing this in my life, it was other people and it was other situations and things happening around me, then I didn't have to take responsibility for it and I could just blame everyone else and just be miserable and be okay with that. And it might have made me feel better for about a second, for the time it took for me to cry myself to sleep. But it didn't make me feel better in the long run, and it wasn't a solution to any of my problems. It didn't help me feel better the next day at all. And what I've learned is that it is important for me to understand that no matter what happens in my life, no matter what is going on around me, I am completely in control of my emotions and the thoughts that I'm thinking and how I feel. And that doesn't mean that I'm never going to have a bad moment, because I'm human and you're human and you're going to have those moments. But it's learning not to stay in those moments. And let me tell you something about life. Life will throw things at you and you'll just be going along having a perfectly nice day and something happens and you're like, what the heck? Really? Really? I didn't need that. I was having a good day and then you just threw that on me. But I'm here to tell you that it's no coincidence. These things are happening because it's a test. It is always a test for us to understand whether or not we are going to be in charge of our own emotions and able to stop, breathe, balance ourselves, and go on and not let it affect us. Or are we going to fall into that, oh, woe is me, I'm the victim, my life sucks because of all of these things? Are we going to go there? Because it's easy to go there. It is so easy to go there. And I don't want anyone to ever feel like they should beat themselves up if they do go there, because that is normal. That's life. That is what we're trying to be tested against. Do I fall into that, oh my gosh, woe is me, everything's a disaster? Or do I say, okay, that happened, that's interesting, this too shall pass, and it's not going to affect me, and I'm going to go on. But I'm here to tell you something about myself. I'm a human being just like you, and I have flaws just like you. In fact, you may be able to hear my dog's claws in the background because every time I decide to do a podcast, they decide it's time to play. and I have no control over that. I don't have a soundproof studio, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I am perfectly okay with being perfectly flawed. I don't care. And if people don't like me, they can just go to a different podcast. It's no big deal. And I'm still that person who sometimes gets triggered by things. You know, I took this new job, and I've talked about this so much on my podcast. I do consider it a blessing. But it's a blessing that does not come without certain flaws. Being a new teacher in a new building can suck. It just can. Especially when you don't really get adequate training because they think of you as a veteran teacher, and so you should be able to go in there and know everything. So it's like, you're good to go. You've done this. Go, you got this. And while I appreciate sincerely the confidence that they place in me, I also appreciate being mentored and being told, you know, every work environment is new and it's different. And, you know, I know how everything worked at my old district, and I got to the point where I was comfortable and knew how everything worked. I mean, I remember my first year as a new teacher in my other district, and I was frustrated pretty much every single day. I felt the same way. I felt like I don't know anything. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am. What's my name? I have no clue. And I remember being frustrated. And this year, being a new teacher, I'm not a new teacher, but being a teacher who's new at this particular school, I have felt frustrations. And there have been days where I literally have gone home and have been so overwhelmed that I pass right out because I'm just like, I'm exhausted. I walked into a situation that was so unique to me. It's like, I'm not a brand new teacher, but I'm new to the district, and the district, the environment, the culture, everything is so different from where I was. And I like it, and people are nice. And of course, I'm not ever saying people aren't nice. It's not that. But it just feels so different. And I know I felt that way when I first started at my other job. And again, I am so grateful to be where I am. I love being with my kids every day. I love being 5 minutes from home. I love being where I grew up. It's nothing about that. It's all of the, you know, the new job stuff, which anyone would feel walking into any new environment. It's that I don't know what's happening from day to day because I don't know the environment. I don't know the school. It's that feeling. And it's fine, but at times it gets overwhelming. And it's I ache for the companionship of the people that I worked with before. I miss them because my friends from my old school will just randomly send me a message. And it honestly, like, I want to cry when I get them because I miss the everyday. We ate lunch together, we talked, we had meetings, we had this, we had that. I mean, we were a family. It wasn't just, this is my coworker. This was my family that I had for 14 years. And it's not like, you know, if they lived closer, we could get together all the time. But we have families, they don't live that close. So it really has been like, not only do I have a new job, but it feels like I've lost my family. And it's a hard thing for me to explain because my whole family, they're all like, you should just be so thrilled with this job, and it's so amazing, and it's so great, and it's so this, and it's so that. And it is great that I have it. And I'm not at all saying that I'm not glad that I have it, because there are so many reasons to be grateful for it. But if I chose to dwell on the negative, there's a lot of things that are overwhelming to me. Like just not knowing the school policies, not knowing the standards, not having a mentor to tell me what goes on, when and where and how. And I don't really have teachers around me. Like where my classroom is, there aren't really that many other classrooms near me, and I'm not near my department. They're on the other end of the hallway. And so it's just, I feel very isolated in a lot of ways where I am. And that's not a criticism of any kind. It's just what it is. It is what it is. And for me, that's very different because, as you all know, I do this podcast, I connect with people. I need that connection because that's what I'm all about. I love people, I love talking to people, and I make connections with my students. Of course, I love my students, but it's not the same as having connections with your coworkers. And again, people are very nice. It's not about that. It's just about the fact that where I am is a little isolated and it's a little weird and different coming from where I was. And so it's been an adjustment. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I could choose to focus on that. And I could be like, oh, woe is me. I'm the victim here. I walked into this situation now, which is so different from where I was, and I feel very isolated, and I don't like it, blah, 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 blah. But that's not what I choose to see. What I choose to see is, oh my gosh, I was blessed with this opportunity to drive 5 minutes to work. My children are with me. I can make sure that they're doing well for their senior year, where it is very important. I am making new friends. My students are amazing. We are doing all kinds of cool new things, and I'm learning every day. And that is what I choose to focus on, because things happen to us every day. You know, there are things happening to me in my personal life with my kids and their dad, and it is overwhelming. There are days when I really seriously, and someday I will share with you all what is going on, but I just cannot right now for legal reasons. But there are days when I want to come home and I want to just lay down and I want to bury my head and I want to cry. But I have to be strong. And I know that if I choose to focus on everything that's going wrong, where am I going to be? I mean, it's not going to do any good. If I come home and I just lay my head down and I cry my eyes out, well, that's great, but what does it help me in my life? It doesn't. And I'm not saying don't feel your emotions. Of course you should. Absolutely. Have your cry. I mean, I do. There are days when I come home and I cry. I absolutely do. Because when those emotions hit me, I have to express them. But my point is, don't stay in that space. It would be easy to stay in the space of, I'm the victim, woe is me, it's not fair, all this is happening to me. And what I'm saying is, don't do that. Don't do that. When you stay in that place of victimhood, you know, I don't know what it is, but I think some people feel like, well, if I'm a martyr, everyone will just think I'm so great. No, they don't. No, they don't. When you choose to be in that martyrdom state or whatever, that's annoying. That's super annoying to people. They're not going to tell you that, but it is. When you stay in that state where you're like, oh, woe is me, I'm the victim, everything always happens to me, you're a Debbie Downer. That's what you are. And no offense to anyone named Debbie that listens. I love you all. But you are. You're a Debbie Downer. That's what you are. Nobody thinks that everyone who's suffered I don't know, this whole, if you're a martyr because you took on everything, so what? Okay, everyone has issues, everyone. And I never have understood the people who are like, I have way more problems than you, and let me tell you how many problems I have. Okay, good for you, Becky. I don't know, sorry to anyone named Becky, but you know what I mean? Like, seriously. No one cares, okay? We all have issues. We all have problems. It isn't about proving who has more problems and who has been more saint-like. No one cares. You're not going to be sainted in this day and age. The point is, when you're in this state, if you choose to stay down there and to be the victim and to be like, I've gone through this and woe is me and blah, whoa, you're not improving your life one bit. What are you doing? I mean, people don't pity you. They might pity you to your face, but behind your back, they're probably going to be like, oh my gosh, don't go talking to her because she will tell you her whole life story and oh my gosh, is she a Debbie Downer? That's all it is. And I don't know if it's the attention seeking. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But I'm here to tell you that being in that negative state is not doing one positive thing for your life. Yeah, you might get some attention and some sympathy from a few people. It's probably not genuine anyway. So stop staying in that negative place. Stop focusing on what's going wrong in your life. It's time to start focusing on what's going right. Playing the victim is not going to get you very far. And in my experience, the only thing it's ever done is made me more miserable. I mean, I may have had people, if I broke down and cried to them and been like, oh, you listen to what's happening in my life. I may have had someone pat me on the back and be like, there. But that's it. Seriously, like no one wants to be around somebody like that. You are literally draining the energy of everyone around you when you're sitting there griping. And don't get me wrong, yes, you need to get your feelings out, but I'm talking about someone who's always in that state. Yes, you need to get your opinions out. You need to get your feelings out. You need to express them. But those things should be fleeting. Like, I experience it, I acknowledge it, it's gone. I don't sit there and I don't dwell. It's a drive-through. It is not a parking spot. You get my drift? We experience it, we felt it, we're moving on, and now we're focusing on the positive. We're not sitting there in the sad lane going, okay, I'm going to sit here and tell you my whole life story and how it sucked. No, we don't do that. You're not going to have very many friends if you keep doing that. And as I said before, it does not do one thing to improve your life. Yes, it's helpful to express your emotions and say, this is what I'm feeling. But again, you do that to acknowledge this is what I'm feeling, not to say, this is how I want to feel forever, because that's what you're doing. If you're staying in that space and you're being a victim forever, you're choosing to say, I want to feel like crap forever. Do you really? I don't. And I don't know about anybody else, but I don't think anyone who's listening to my podcast really wants to feel that way forever. Because you would choose a different podcast. You would not be listening to me if what you wanted was to feel miserable. My podcast is designed to help you live your best life and to feel positive. So you wouldn't be listening if that's how you wanted to feel. But some of you, I think you don't even understand that this is what you're doing. Pay attention to where your thoughts go. I can't say it enough. Be mindful of what you're thinking from day to day. And it's super easy. I know it is. I'm not here telling you I'm perfect. I never have a bad emotion and I have a life that's full of rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. No, I don't. Okay? I don't have that life. I have a lot of blessings in my life, and that's what I choose to focus on. That's not to say that things don't challenge me in my life or that things that I have no control over don't come up and hit me in the face. Of course they do. Of course they do. I'm a human being. I'm here to be tested and to learn new things. Of course I have things that come against me. But the difference is that I don't let it get me down. When I experience something that I don't like, that confronts me and challenges me, I absolutely feel the emotion that it brings. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's worry, sometimes it's anxiety, and I acknowledge, okay, I felt that. But I also pay attention to that and I say, okay, this is not going to be who I am. This is not going to define me. No, okay, I felt this fear. I felt it. That was my human instinct to feel fear. But I know that the universe has my back. I know that the universe is working behind the scenes to bring me what's for my highest good, and that there's no need to worry. So even though I felt that fear, I acknowledge I felt it and I let it go and I don't focus on it. What I choose to focus on instead is, even though I don't see how this is going to turn out in my favor right now, I know it will. I give up control. I don't need to know the how for now. I just need to know that I am being taken care of. And that's not to say that I don't go to my team and say, help me, I don't know what to do. Of course I do. That's the first thing I do. I take a deep breath and I go to my team and I just say, listen, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Even though for most of the time in any given situation, my intuition tells me what to do. But I'm human, so I don't always trust that. So if I scrap my intuition, if I say, okay, I need something stronger than that, I go to my team and I say, okay, I don't know what I need to do, but you know what's for my highest good. So please give me guidance, give me some signs, give me some steps, tell me what to do. And I completely surrender. I don't try to control it. I just say, sometimes it's simply bring me the people who can help me. And that's all I say. And then I let go. And to say that I've been blown away is an understatement. I mean, people and situations and opportunities show up for me in amazing ways. But I just have to trust. And what I really just wanted to share with you tonight is just don't let yourself stay in that place where you are miserable and you're the victim and life isn't fair. Because that is not going to bring you any kind of joy. And life should be full of joy. And it's not going to help you. It's not. When you feel yourself starting to get into that, I'm the victim and it's all fear-based. That's all fear-based emotions. When you feel yourself starting to go there, I want you to take a deep breath and just know whose you are. Because when you realize that you are a child of the divine and you are deeply loved and supported, you have nothing to fear. And even though people may not be fair to you, it always comes out fair in the end. And I want you to hear me. It ends up being fair in the end. Even if it doesn't look like it is now, trust me, it is. So just don't worry about it. Worry about yourself. Don't worry about people who, they need to be paid back. Stop. Don't even worry yourself about those things, okay? You worry about you and knowing that you are going to get exactly what you deserve, which is all the blessings that the universe has in store for you, because you are wonderful, you're beautiful, you're capable, you're worthy of it. And you need to start remembering that. So it's fine to have your moments where you feel sad and you acknowledge those feelings. Don't stay there, okay? The universe is imploring you, don't stay there. At any moment, we have the choice to change our thoughts. We have the absolute power to say, I'm not going to feel this way anymore. I'm going to change my thoughts. So yes, get out your emotions. Have your fit. Not even a fit. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be condescending. It's not like that. Because trust me, I have had my nights where I have cried myself to sleep. We all have those moments. We're human. So have your time. Say, you know what? I'm going to give myself a half an hour, maybe not even that long, maybe 15 minutes to cry my eyes out. And then I choose to think differently. I choose to see the blessings in my life, not all of the things that are going wrong. I choose to see the good. And when you do that, more good shows up, I promise you. And you deserve that. You deserve to live your absolute best life possible. And I hope that you are. I really do. Well, I wanted to pull a card for you today. And the card that I pulled is from the Teachings of Abraham deck. And the message that you have today is, this is a glorious time for me to be on this earth. You are extensions of source energy here in the magnificent physical body. The amazing diversity of your time-space reality provides the perfect balance for which to create and attract. There has never been a better time to be upon the planet. And I love that. And that is so true. And the biggest part of manifesting and attracting is all about positive thinking and keeping your thoughts on what you wish to see in your life, not what you don't wish. So quit focusing on lack and focus more on the abundance. And I just did a video on IGTV about how to manifest, so you might want to go check that out. As always, I want to thank you so much for listening to my podcast and for following me. I love you guys so much, and I appreciate all of you. If you like this podcast, please share it with others. Please subscribe. Please leave reviews. That helps other people to find me. And honestly, the best compliment ever is word of mouth, letting people know that you love my podcast. So thank you for those of you who've already done that. If you want to work with me, there are so many ways that you can. Go to my website, melissaoatman.com, and check out all of the services that I offer. And then if you want to book a session with me, just email me at melissaoatman77@gmail.com. We can book your session, and we can also take care of the billing there too. You can pay online, but I can also send you an invoice. And some people just don't even know what they need, so they just reach out to me. Please feel free to do that. You can email me, you can text me, you can call me, you can message me on any of my social media platforms. Any way you want to get a hold of me is perfect. Don't hesitate to reach out. Don't ever hesitate to reach out. I love talking to my listeners. It's amazing. So don't ever hesitate or feel like you can't reach out to me. Absolutely do. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. I go live on Facebook Mondays at 5:30 Central. And I also post videos to IGTV on Instagram. So don't forget to follow me on all of those different social media platforms. Thank you so much for being with me today. I hope that we're still in Mercury in retrograde. I will be ready when that's over so that I can talk normally again. But I hope that you are living your absolute best life possible. And you deserve to absolutely be 100% in love with your life. So I hope you are, or at least you're working on that. I am sending you so much love and light and wishing you an absolutely beautiful day filled with so many miracles. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.